My director stole my eye project, then cut my brake lines. I'm sitting in the TechCon 2024 audience with my laptop open, staring at file timestamps from March 2023. My hands are shaking. On stage, Tony Rodriguez, my boss's boss, is clicking through slides of my AI authentication framework, the same framework I've been building for 18 months. After 18 months of development, Tony says into the microphone, I'm proud to present my revolutionary AI authentication system that will change how we approach enterprise security. My revolutionary system, my 18 months, my 780 hours of unpaid overtime. I scroll through my files. March 2023, initial framework design. April 2023, core algorithm implementation. May 2023, first successful test deployment. Every single line of code he's showing matches mine exactly. Not similar, not inspired by, exactly the same, down to the variable names I chose because they were inside jokes with my daughter. My phone buzzes. My wife asking how the conference is going. I type back, Tony's presenting my entire project as his own. I'm watching it happen right now. The audience is eating it up. 300 tech executives taking photos of my code while Tony explains concepts he doesn't even understand. When someone asks about the authentication hash, he deflects with practiced ease. We'll have documentation available after the presentation. We'll have documentation. I wrote that documentation at 2 a.m. while my wife was 7 months pregnant and couldn't sleep. Back in my hotel room, I opened the spreadsheet I've been avoiding. Time to add it all up. 780 hours of unpaid overtime for Tony's special project. At my rate, that's $54,600 worth of work. The performance bonus I was denied last month because my contributions weren't substantial enough. $15,000. The credit card debt from covering my own expenses during crunch time because Tony said the project budget was frozen. $7,200. Medical bills from stress-induced gastritis that started 6 months ago. $3,400. I minimize the spreadsheet and open LinkedIn. There's Tony's profile. Senior Tech Advisor, available for consulting. $450 per hour. His latest post about the AI framework already has 50,000 views. Fortune 500 companies commenting about implementation possibilities. Then I find it. The email from 3 months ago. Tony asking me to send him all my files. Just forward everything to my personal email. I'll polish them for the executives. I did it. I actually did it because I trusted him. Something clicks in my brain. Sarah from QA. She quit suddenly last year after Tony collaborated on her testing automation. She'd worked on it for 8 months, then Tony presented it at Microsoft's developer conference. Marcus from Backend, who had what everyone called a mental breakdown after Tony took credit for his API architecture. He's driving for Uber now. Jenny from UX, whose design system Tony presented at Adobe Summit 2023. She works at a nonprofit now, making half her old salary. My phone buzzes. Conference app notification. Tony Rodriguez wins TechCon 2024 Innovation Award for AI Authentication Framework. $25,000 prize. Keynote speaking opportunities at 5 conferences next year. This isn't the first time. This is what he does. This is how he survived 15 years without writing a single line of code. I'm in the conference bathroom calling Jake, my college roommate who became a labor lawyer. The bathroom echoes make everything sound hollow. He's been stealing from me for 18 months, I tell him. I have everything documented, every commit, every timestamp, every email. Lucas, you need to be careful how you... 2 men enter the bathroom, talking loudly, CTOS from companies I recognize. That Rodriguez presentation was exactly what we need, one says at the urinal. Think he'd consult for us? Already asked. $300,000 for 6 months to implement his framework. Worth it for that level of innovation. I hold my phone up, recording app running. They keep talking about hiring Tony, about his brilliant solution, about how rare it is to find executives who can still code at that level. $300,000. For my work, my ideas, my 18 months of my daughter asking why daddy's always at the computer. They leave. I stop recording. Jake, I say, I'm not letting him get away with this. Luke, think about your family. I am thinking about them. I'm thinking about the 18 months of bedtime stories I missed. I'm thinking about the credit card debt. I'm thinking about Sarah and Marcus and Jenny and whoever's next. What are you going to do? I look at myself in the mirror. 32 years old, 3 years at this company, 18 months of believing that hard work speaks for itself. I don't know yet, but I'm not walking away, not this time. Monday morning, I walked into HR with a folder containing 18 months of evidence. Monica, the HR director, was already seated at the conference table, typing on her laptop. She didn't look up when I sat down. Lucas, I have another meeting in 20 minutes, so let's make this quick. I opened my folder and spread the papers across the table. Git commits showing 3,847 contributions from me, 12 from Tony. Email threads where I detailed every algorithm. Screenshots of my original files dated March 2023. These are interesting allegations, Monica said, glancing at the papers without picking them up. But without clear IP assignment documentation, it's difficult to determine ownership. The timestamps show. Timestamps can be misleading. She finally looked at me. Tony's been with us for 15 years. He has relationships with every executive in this building. Are you absolutely certain there wasn't some misunderstanding about collaborative work? I pulled out the email where Tony asked me to send everything to his personal Gmail. This isn't collaboration. He took my files and presented them as his own at TechCon. Monica leaned back in her chair. Lucas, I need you to understand something. Tony Rodriguez isn't just a senior director. He sits on the advisory board. He plays golf with the CEO. His wife runs the company's biggest charity fundraiser every year. So that makes it okay for him to steal? I'm saying that perhaps you misunderstood the nature of your contributions to his project. His project? I wrote every line of code. She started gathering the papers I'd spread out, stacking them into a neat pile. In the absence of formal documentation stating otherwise, work done during company time belongs to the company. And Tony, as senior director, represents the company's interests. Yet you're not even going to investigate? Monica slid the papers back to me. What would you like me to investigate? An executive improving upon work from his team? That's called leadership, Lucas. Sarah from QA quit after he stole her testing framework. Marcus had a breakdown when Tony took credit for his API, Jenny. Those employees are no longer with the company, so I can't speak to their situations. She stood up. My advice? Focus on your current responsibilities. Tony specifically mentioned you might benefit from additional mentoring. Mentoring? He's concerned about your professional development. Says you've been struggling with team dynamics. I stared at her. I haven't even talked to Tony since before the conference. He called me this morning. Very concerned about your reaction to his presentation. He thinks you might have misunderstood the collaborative nature of innovation. She walked to the door and held it open. Lucas, you're a good engineer, but you're still learning how things work at this level. Tony's trying to help you grow. By stealing my work? By showing you how executive leadership operates. Her smile was completely empty. Sometimes the best ideas need the right person to champion them. Someone with the relationships and experience to get them implemented. So you're saying he did steal it, but that's just how things work? I'm saying there was no theft because there's no proof of individual ownership, and making accusations against a senior executive without proof isn't just wrong, it's career limiting. I'd barely made it back to my desk when my phone rang, Tony's assistant. He needs to see you immediately. Tony's office was on the executive floor, real wood panels, golf trophies, pictures with senators. He was sitting behind his mahogany desk, drinking his third espresso of the day from a cup that cost more than my weekly groceries. Lucas. He didn't look up from his monitor. I heard you're confused about our project structure. I'm not confused about anything. Sit down. I stayed standing. He finally looked at me, smiling like we were discussing weekend plans. Monica called me. She's concerned about your mental state. Apparently you brought her a folder full of conspiracy theories? Git commits aren't conspiracy theories. No, but misunderstanding collaborative work might indicate stress. He took another sip of espresso. Which is why I'm moving you to the maintenance team, effective immediately. My stomach dropped. Maintenance team? Bug fixes, legacy code updates, less pressure. It'll be good for you. You're punishing me for reporting theft. I'm helping a struggling employee find his proper level. He opened his laptop and typed something. It's already moving your desk to Building C basement level. Nice and quiet down there. Building C. Where they put people before firing them. No windows, no cell service, no witnesses. Also, your access to the AI framework repository has been revoked. That's my code. That's company property that you no longer need access to. He closed his laptop. Security reasons. Security from what? Me proving I wrote it? Tony stood up, walked around his desk, sat on the edge, too close to where I was standing. Lucas, you've been here 3 years. You know what happens to employees who create problems? They get their work stolen. They get replaced. He picked up his phone. I already have your replacement's resume right here. Stanford grad, 10 years at Google. Eager to work on innovative projects without drama. You mean eager to have their work stolen too? Eager to understand how executive collaboration works. He scrolled through his phone. Your new desk is ready. B3-127. Facilities will help you carry your things. I'm not moving to the basement. You're right. He put his phone down. You could quit. No severance, no unemployment, no reference. Explain to your next employer why you left after 3 years with nothing to show for it. Nothing to show? I built your entire presentation. You contributed to a team effort led by senior management. He walked back behind his desk. That's what your employment record will show, unless you'd prefer it to show insubordination and performance issues. 2 security guards appeared at the door, not threatening, just present. Tom and David will help you relocate, Tony said. Your new manager is expecting you at noon. Don't be late. Punctuality matters in maintenance. Tom, the older guard, looked embarrassed. Your boxes are already packed, Lucas. You packed my desk? IT policy, David said. When someone's access levels change, we secure their workstation immediately. Tony was typing again, already forgetting I existed. Oh, Lucas? Your company laptop needs to be re-imaged. Security update. IT will give you a replacement, eventually. You're erasing my local files. Updating security protocols. He didn't look up. Building C uses different software configurations. You understand. Tom touched my elbow gently. Come on, Lucas. Let's get you settled. I looked at Tony one more time. He was smiling at his screen, probably at my code, my work, my 18 months. This isn't over, I said. Yes, he said, still typing. It is. 3 hours later, I got an email marked, urgent, mandatory performance review, 2 p.m. today. I walked into conference room B to find Tony sitting at the head of the table with 2 other managers flanking him like bodyguards. Rachel from engineering and Marcus from product. Marcus wouldn't make eye contact. Rachel was typing on her laptop, pretending I wasn't there. Sit, Tony said, sliding a packet across the table. We need to discuss your performance. The cover page said, Performance Improvement Plan, Lucas Chen. I'd never had a negative review in my life. This is dated 2 weeks ago, I said. We've been documenting concerns for a while, Tony said. Today's incident just confirms what we already knew. I flipped through the pages. Fails to collaborate effectively. Resists management guidance. Creates hostile work environment. These are lies. Rachel finally looked up. I personally witnessed you refusing to share code with team members last month. What code? When? April 3rd. You declined Tony's request to add him to your repository. That was my personal GitHub for a side project. Anything related to AI authentication falls under company IP, Tony said. Your refusal to share shows lack of team collaboration. Marcus cleared his throat. I've also noticed attitude problems. You skipped the last 3 team building events. Those were optional happy hours. Optional for team players, Tony corrected. Mandatory for employees who need to improve their collaboration skills. Page 3 listed my failures. Missing a meeting that was scheduled while I was on approved vacation. Not responding to emails sent at 11 p.m. within the acceptable 2-hour window. Using aggressive technical language in code reviews. This is insane. That attitude right there, Rachel said, making a note. Dismissive of feedback, combative. Tony leaned forward. Lucas, we want you to succeed. That's why we're giving you this opportunity. Opportunity? 30-day performance improvement plan. Clear goals, measurable outcomes. He flipped to the last page. Daily check-ins with me. Weekly reviews with HR. Mandatory collaboration training every Friday. And if I refuse? Then you're terminated for insubordination. No severance, no unemployment benefits, and we'll be forced to note in your reference that you were terminated for cause. You're blackmailing me. Rachel typed something. Subject exhibits paranoid thinking. I read the PIP requirements. Submit all code for pre-approval. Share all passwords with management. Accept reassignment to any project deemed necessary. This basically makes me your personal coding slave. It makes you a team player, Tony said. Or it makes you unemployed, your choice. Marcus shifted uncomfortably. Lucas, we've all had to learn to work within the system. Tony's trying to help you. By stealing my work? By teaching you how corporate innovation works, Tony said. Sometimes the best ideas need the right champion, someone with connections, experience, the ability to get things implemented. You mean someone who can golf with the CEO? Someone who understands business, not just code. Tony stood up. You have until end of day to sign. If you don't, security will escort you out tomorrow morning. Rachel packed up her laptop. For what it's worth, Lucas, the maintenance team isn't that bad. Brad survived 2 years down there. Brad who had a nervous breakdown? Brad who learned humility, Tony said. Then got promoted. Eventually. Marcus finally spoke directly to me. Just sign it, Lucas. Don't throw away your career over pride. This isn't pride. This is theft. This is reality, Tony said, walking to the door. You created something brilliant. I can make it successful. Together, we both win. Together? My name isn't anywhere on that framework. Your name's on your paycheck. That should be enough. He opened the door. Monica's expecting you by 5. Don't be late. Rachel followed him out, but Marcus lingered. I'm sorry, he whispered. I have 2 kids. I can't afford to pick sides. He's doing to me what he did to Sarah. And Jenny. I know. Marcus looked at the door. We all know, but knowing doesn't pay mortgages. I signed the PIP at 4:47 p.m. and walked to the parking garage carrying 3 boxes of my stuff. The garage was nearly empty. Most people left by 4 on Fridays. I was loading the second box into my trunk when footsteps echoed behind me. Lucas. Tony was standing by my car, hands in his pockets, relaxed, like we were discussing weekend plans. You should be grateful, he said. Most people never get the chance to learn from someone like me. Learn what? How to steal. How to survive. He walked closer. You think you're the first one to try this? Sarah tried. Where is she now? Teaching community college in Nebraska. Marcus tried. He's driving Uber. Jenny tried. She makes $30,000 a year at a nonprofit. Because you destroyed their careers. Because they didn't understand how things work. He leaned against my car. I've been here 15 years. You've been here 3. Who do you think they'll believe? The truth doesn't care about seniority. The truth, he laughed. The truth is, whatever the person with power says it is. I slammed my trunk. That's when I saw it. My driver's side mirror was smashed, hanging by wires, and a key scratch ran the entire length of my car, deep enough to see primer. What the hell? Tony shrugged. Parking garages are dangerous. No cameras in this section, under maintenance. He checked his watch. I have dinner reservations. Enjoy your weekend. He walked away. I called security from my phone. Yeah, we know about the cameras, the guard said when he arrived 20 minutes later. Been down for 3 days, budget cuts, nothing we can do without footage. 3 days? Or 3 hours. He wouldn't make eye contact. I just write the reports, man. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Sarah, Marcus, Jenny, how many others. At 2 a.m., I opened LinkedIn and searched TechCorp Tony Rodriguez. Hundreds of results. But buried on page 4, I found something interesting. A private group. Former TechCorp innovators, request to join. 20 minutes later, approved, 14 members. I recognized 3 names immediately, Sarah Mitchell, Marcus Washington, Jenny Park. The pinned post was from Sarah. This is a safe space for those who've experienced IP theft at TechCorp. What's shared here stays here. Tony has connections everywhere. I scrolled through months of posts, each one worse than the last. Sarah's story. Tony stole my automated testing framework after I worked on it for 8 months. Sold it to Microsoft for $75,000 through his consulting company. When I complained, I was fired for performance issues. Marcus. My API architecture is now being licensed to 3 companies. Tony makes $10,000 a month from my work. I have the Git commits proving I wrote it. Didn't matter. His lawyer sent me a cease and desist. Jenny. He presented my entire design system at Adobe Summit 2023. Got a standing ovation. I was in the audience. When I confronted him, he had security escort me out. Adobe still thinks it's his work. Then a post from someone named Michael Chen, no relation, from 6 months ago. Just found out Tony's been doing this for 7 years. He has a system. Targets high performers without connections, takes their best work. If they complain, he destroys them. I counted 9 victims so far. A new message appeared, from Sarah. Lucas, I saw you joined. I'm sorry this happened to you. We tried to warn people, but nobody believed us. Tony's too powerful. I typed back. I'm not giving up. Neither did we. At first. What changed? He broke us. One by one. Marcus had his mortgage. Jenny had her sick mother. I had my visa status. He knew exactly where to apply pressure. There has to be a way to stop him. There is. A new member joined the conversation. Dev Patel, from IT. But you'll need help. And you'll need to be smarter than the others. Dev, you know about this? I know everything. Every file Tony's ever stolen. Every trail he's tried to erase. I've been documenting it for 2 years. Why haven't you done anything? Because I was waiting for someone with nothing left to lose. Someone angry enough to fight back. Are you that person, Lucas? I looked at my keyed car through the window. Thought about my daughter asking why daddy was always tired. About the credit card debt. About 18 months of my life stolen. Yes, I am. Monday afternoon, I was picking at cafeteria meatloaf when someone sat down across from me. Dev Patel, IT administrator, never ate lunch with anyone. Don't look up, he said quietly. Tony has people watching you. I kept staring at my tray. What do you want? To show you something. Tonight, 8 p.m., parking lot C, bottom level. That's where my car got keyed. Exactly. No cameras. He stood up. Bring a flash drive, 32 gigs minimum. That night, I sat in my damaged car waiting. Dev appeared from nowhere, tapped on my window. Follow me. He led me to a maintenance room I didn't know existed. Inside, behind a water heater, was an old server tower running quietly. What is this? Insurance. Dev powered on a monitor. I backed up everything before Tony ordered the deletion. The screen filled with Git repositories. My repositories. 18 months of commits. Every single line of code I'd written. How? Tony doesn't understand technology. He thinks when he orders it to delete something, it disappears forever. Dev clicked through folders. I've been running shadow backups for 2 years. He opened another window. Access logs. Tony's user ID. Downloads at 2:14 a.m., 2:47 a.m., 3:33 a.m., always between 2 and 4 in the morning. Always my files. He did this 43 times, Dev said. Downloaded your entire codebase piece by piece. Why those hours? His wife takes Ambien. She's out cold by midnight. He works in his home office where she can't see. Dev opened Gmail. Tony's personal account. Email after email of my work forwarded from his corporate account. How do you have access to his personal email? He used his corporate laptop once. Chrome saved the password. He never knew. I stared at the evidence. This is enough to destroy him. No, it's not. Dev pulled up another folder. You're the 4th person I've shown this to. What happened to the others? Sarah had her visa threatened. Marcus had his mortgage application mysteriously denied after perfect credit for 10 years. Jenny's mother's insurance claim got rejected until she signed an NDA. So Tony has connections everywhere. Deeper than you know. Dev showed me an email. Tony's brother-in-law is the district attorney. His golf buddy runs the biggest employment law firm in the city. His wife's cousin owns the credit bureau. Then why help me? Dev turned to face me. Because 2 years ago, Tony tried to get me fired. Why? I questioned why he was transferring product roadmaps to his personal drives. He told HR I was accessing executive files without permission, which was true because he ordered me to do it, then deleted the emails. What saved you? I recorded the conversation where he gave me the order. But HR said audio recordings without consent were illegal, so now I just watch. Document. Wait. Wait for what? For someone angry enough to not care about consequences. He studied my face. Are you that person? I thought about my keyed car, my basement desk, my daughter's college fund I'd have to raid if I lost this job. What else do you have? Dev smiled for the first time. He opened another folder. Financial records. Tony Rodriguez Consulting, LLC, incorporated 3 years ago. Look at the client list. Microsoft, Adobe, Goldman Sachs, each paying for authentication frameworks and testing architectures and API designs. These are all our work. Sarah's, Marcus's, Jenny's, mine. On total revenue over 3 years, $1.8 million. Dev clicked through bank statements. He bought a vacation home in Tahoe with Sarah's testing framework money. This is wire fraud. It's worse. Dev pulled up patent filings. He's been filing patents on stolen work. If they're approved, he owns your code forever, legally. My hands were shaking. When does my patent get filed? Thursday. 3 days from now. We have to stop this. We can't go to the police. His brother-in-law would bury it. Can't sue. His friend would destroy us. Can't go to the media. Nobody cares about tech theft. So what do? Dev handed me a flash drive. We gather more evidence. We find more victims. We build something so big that even his connections can't protect him. That could take months. You have 3 days until the patent. After that, your code is his forever. I took the drive. What's on this? Everything I just showed you, plus something else. He paused. Tony made a mistake last week. A big one. What kind of mistake? He sold your AI framework to a Chinese company. That violates ITAR regulations. Federal crime. His brother-in-law can't make that disappear. Holy shit. Keep that drive hidden. Don't plug it into any company computer. Don't tell anyone you have it. Dev started packing up. And Lucas? Be careful. Tony's more dangerous than you know. I drove home that night with Dev's flash drive burning a hole in my pocket. My wife was asleep on the couch, laptop still open on her chest. She'd been helping me document everything while managing her own full-time job. Hey, I whispered. I need your help. She sat up, saw my face. What happened? Dev gave me everything. Tony's been stealing for years. We set up at the kitchen table. 2 laptops, legal pads, calculator, coffee brewing. First, I pulled up Tony Rodriguez Consulting LLC. Delaware Incorporation, 3 years old. Address listed as a P.O. box in Wilmington. Look at this, I said, clicking through the state filing. He incorporated it 1 month after Sarah quit. After he stole her work. He learned from that experience. Set up the infrastructure to monetize the next theft. That I did it on. My wife screenshot everything while I dug deeper. Tony's website was professional. Testimonials from Fortune 500 CEOs. Tony's authentication framework revolutionized our security infrastructure. That was my framework. My code. My sleepless nights. How much did he charge for that? I found the invoice in Dev's files. Goldman Sachs, $180,000 for implementation and training. For your work. For 18 months of my life. She started building a timeline in Excel. Every theft, every victim, every sale. March 2022, Sarah's testing framework stolen. Sold to Microsoft for $75,000. July 2022, Marcus's API architecture stolen. Licensed to 3 companies at $10,000 per month. Still collecting. November 2022, Jenny's design system stolen. Speaking fees from Adobe Summit, $25,000. March 2023, my AI framework development begins. September 2024, framework stolen and being sold. Jesus, my wife said, this is systematic. I cross-referenced with Dev's bank records. Tony had separate accounts for his consulting income, never mixed with his tech corp salary. Smart, I said. Keeps the paper trail clean. Or he thinks it does. We found more victims. David from DevOps, whose container orchestration system was sold to Amazon. Lisa from security, whose penetration testing tools were licensed to government contractors. 9 victims total that we could document. Add it up, my wife said. I ran the numbers twice, not believing it. Total theft value, $1.87 million. Over 3 years. While pulling a $400,000 salary from Tech Corp. My phone buzzed. Text from Jake, my lawyer friend. Can you talk? I called him, put it on speaker. Lucas, I ran this past a colleague who specializes in white-collar crime. If you can prove Tony sold stolen code across state lines, that's wire fraud. Federal offense, 5 to 20 years. We have bank records. Invoices. The code itself with Git commits proving ownership. That's good, but you need more. You need to prove he knew it was stolen. That he did it intentionally, multiple times. We have 9 victims. That establishes pattern. But Lucas, listen carefully. Federal prosecutors won't touch this unless it's airtight. Tony's connected. One crack in the case and his lawyers will destroy you. What about the patent filing? If that patent goes through with his name on it, you lose your code forever. Legally becomes his. It files Thursday. Then you have 48 hours to stop it. After Jake hung up, my wife looked at me. We should go to the FBI now. With what? Bank records we obtained illegally? Emails from Tony's personal account that Dev hacked? Then what? I stared at our timeline. All those thefts, all those victims, all that money. We need the others. Sarah, Marcus, Jenny. If we all come forward together with all our evidence. They're scared. They signed NDAs. NDAs don't cover criminal activity. My wife pulled up the LinkedIn group. Message them. All of them. Tell them what we found. I started typing. This Thursday, Tony files a patent on my work. But it's bigger than that. He's stolen $1.87 million from 9 of us. I have proof. Bank records, invoices, everything. If we don't stop him now, he'll keep doing this. Who's with me? Within minutes, responses started coming. Sarah, I'm in Seattle, but I can fly back. Marcus, I kept everything. Every email, every commit. Jenny, I have recordings of Tony admitting he couldn't have done it without my help. David, that bastard bought a boat with my code. I'm in. By 3 a.m., we had 5 confirmed. 4 maybes. It's not enough, my wife said. Tony has lawyers, connections. Then we need something he can't lawyer his way out of. I remembered what Dev said. The mistake Tony made. selling to a Chinese company. I need to see those ITAR documents. That's federal prison if it's true. Exactly. The next morning, I was at my basement desk when an email popped up from Tony's assistant to Tony's lawyer, somehow forwarded to me. Per your discussion, need to meet about potential employee litigation. Also mentioned cleaning up digital footprints before Thursday's filing. I screenshotted immediately, forwarded to my personal email. Then I realized what I'd done. Tony's assistant would see the forward notification. My phone rang 30 seconds later. Tony. Lucas, my office, now. The elevator ride felt like forever. Tony was standing by his window, back to me. Diane accidentally sent you something? An email about litigation, which you immediately forwarded to your personal account. He turned around. It flagged it. They flag everything now. You're planning to sue me? No, I'm planning to protect myself from you. He sat down. Dev Patel was suspended this morning. Unauthorized access to executive files. My stomach dropped. We found some interesting things on his workstation. Screenshots of private repositories. Access logs he shouldn't have. Even some financial records. You set him up. I protected company assets. Tony opened his laptop. Your laptop is being upgraded today. Mandatory security patch. You mean you're wiping it? I mean, we're ensuring compliance with new IT policies. He typed something. Oh, and Lucas? Your desk is being relocated again. Sub-basement 2. Better ventilation down there. I went back to my desk. 2 IT guys were already there, packing up my laptop. We need to reimage this immediately, one said. Director's orders. I need to back up my files. Already done. Everything's been migrated to the new system. Let me check. Sir, we have orders to take this now. They unplugged everything. Took my laptop, my external drives, even my personal USB hub. I sat there in my empty cubicle. No computer, no access, no evidence. Then I felt something under my desk, taped to the underside. A flash drive. A post-it note on it in Dev's handwriting. I knew this would happen. I palmed it, walked to the bathroom, locked myself in a stall, plugged it into my phone with an adapter I'd started carrying. Everything was there. Everything from last night plus more. Recordings of Tony discussing the cleanup. Screenshots of him accessing Dev's computer remotely to plant evidence. Even a photo of Tony meeting with his lawyer yesterday. Another file labeled URGENT. Inside, an email from Tony to his patent attorney. File everything Thursday morning. No delays. A text from Dev. They suspended me but not fired. Yet. Tony's scared. He's making mistakes. Check your new desk. I walked down to sub-basement 2. Past the boiler room, past maintenance storage. My new desk was in a concrete room with no windows, no cell signal, one fluorescent light flickering overhead. But there was something else. A laptop. Old, dusty, probably forgotten from some previous exile. I opened it. Still connected to the network. Logged in with credentials Dev had written on a sticky note underneath. A message was already open on the screen from Dev. This terminal isn't on their monitoring system. Too old. Use carefully. I looked around the concrete room. No cameras, no windows, no cell signal. Tony had just put me exactly where I needed to be. Invisible, forgotten, free to work. I opened the flash drive files again. Started cross-referencing the ITAR violations Dev mentioned. Found it. Tony's invoice to Shenzhen Digital Systems. $400,000 for authentication framework consultation. My framework. Sold to China. Without export authorization. That's 20 years in federal prison. I started documenting everything. Creating the package that would destroy Tony Rodriguez. My phone buzzed. 1 bar of signal in the corner of the room. Text from Tony. How's the new office? Cozy? I didn't respond. Another text. Thursday's coming fast. After the patent files, none of this matters. It'll all be legally mine. I looked at the evidence on my screen. The fraud, the theft, the federal crimes. Thursday. 48 hours to stop him. I texted Sarah, Marcus, Jenny, and the others. Meeting tomorrow night. My house. Bring everything. We end this. Then I noticed something else on the old laptop. An email from 2 years ago. From someone named Rachel Kim. Subject line. Tony Rodriguez destroyed my career. I opened it. Dev, if you're reading this, I'm probably gone. Tony stole my machine learning algorithm and sold it to Tesla. When I complained, he had me committed for psychiatric evaluation. Said I was delusional. I'm not crazy. I have proof. It's hidden in the server room behind panel B7. Please find it. Please stop him. Panel B7, server room. I had work to do. The server room was freezing at 2 a.m. when I found Rachel Kim's proof behind panel B7. Wednesday morning, my performance review was scheduled for 8 a.m. sharp. I walked into the conference room to find Tony, Monica from HR, and someone I didn't recognize. A woman in a suit taking notes. This is Dr. Patricia Reeves, Monica said. She's here to assess your mental state. My what? Tony slid a paper across the table. Lucas, your recent behavior shows concerning patterns, paranoid accusations, secretly recording colleagues, spreading conspiracy theories about stolen work. It's not a conspiracy if it's true. Dr. Reeves wrote something down. Do you often feel that people are plotting against you? When they actually are? Yes. Lucas, Monica said. We're recommending you take mental health leave. Immediately. You're forcing me out? We're concerned about your well-being. Tony's voice was perfectly calm. These delusions about me stealing your work. I have proof. You have timestamps that you could have manipulated. You have emails taken out of context. You have an obsession that's affecting your judgment. The company lawyer spoke for the first time. Mr. Chen, we need to discuss your recent activities, accessing executive files, coordinating with suspended employees, meeting with former staff members who signed NDAS. How do you know about that? Tony smiled. We care about our employees. Sometimes that means keeping tabs on their concerning behavior. You're stalking me. Dr. Reeves wrote faster. Do you feel you're being watched, Lucas? I don't feel it. I know it. I turned to Monica. This is retaliation for reporting IP theft. This is intervention for an employee in crisis, Monica replied. Your colleagues have expressed concern about your behavior. Which colleagues? That's confidential. But multiple people report you've been acting erratically, talking to yourself, spending hours in empty server rooms, making threats. I never threatened anyone. Tony pulled out his phone, played a recording, my voice. I'm not letting him get away with this. Not this time. That was a private conversation. In a public bathroom at a conference. Anyone could have recorded it. The lawyer leaned forward. Mr. Chen, we're prepared to offer you a generous package. 6 weeks paid mental health leave, full benefits, counseling services. All you need to do is sign this agreement stating you won't pursue any claims against the company or its employees. And if I don't, then we terminate you immediately for creating a hostile work environment. No severance, no benefits, and will be forced to note in your file that you were dismissed for mental instability and threatening behavior. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. I glanced at it. Your wife received an interesting call this morning. Maybe you should check with her. My blood went cold. I called my wife. She answered on the first ring, crying. Someone just called, said you were having a breakdown at work. Said if I cared about you, I'd convince you to take the help they're offering. Lucas, they knew where I work. They knew our daughter's school. Are you okay? I'm scared. What's happening? I looked at Tony. He was examining his nails. Mr. Chen, Dr. Reeves said. Sudden paranoid episodes can affect the whole family. Your wife deserves peace. You called my wife? Someone concerned about you reached out, Monica said. We can't control what colleagues do in their personal time. Tony stood up. Lucas, take the leave. Get help. Come back when you're better. The patent files tomorrow. What patent? Tony's face was perfectly innocent. I think you're confused again. The lawyer pushed the papers toward me. Sign these. Go home. Focus on your health. And if I don't sign? Security is waiting outside, Monica said. They'll escort you out immediately. Your final check will be mailed, after deductions for damaged company property. What damaged property? The laptop you claim was wiped. The files you claim were deleted. Expensive equipment that mysteriously stopped working after you touched it. Tony walked to the door, then turned back. Lucas, I tried to mentor you, but some people just can't handle pressure. It's not your fault. It's just who you are. Weak. I stared at the papers. 6 weeks to be silent while Tony filed my patent. I need to think about it. You have 1 hour, Monica said. Then security escorts you out either way. I stayed at the office until 9 p.m. Thursday, waiting for everyone to leave. My car felt strange the moment I turned the ignition. Something was off. The brake pedal had more travel than usual, but I figured I was being paranoid. Tony had gotten into my head. I pulled out of my parking spot, pressed the brake at the garage exit gate. The pedal went straight to the floor. My car rolled forward. I pumped the brake. Nothing. Emergency brake. Barely slowed me. The concrete barrier came up fast. I jerked the wheel hard right, hit it at 15 miles per hour. Airbag didn't deploy, but my chest slammed into the steering wheel. Security came running. You okay? My brakes failed. You need an ambulance? I need you to check your cameras. The guard shook his head. Cameras in this section have been down all week. Budget cuts. I called a tow truck, waited. Tried not to think about what almost happened if I'd made it to the highway. The next morning, I was at the mechanics by 7 a.m. Your brake line was cut, Mike said, holding up the severed line. See this? Clean cut, diagonal. Someone used heavy-duty cutters. Not wear and tear. Brake lines don't wear like this. This was intentional. I called the police from the shop. Officer Martinez arrived 20 minutes later, took photos, asked questions. Who would want to hurt you? My boss. I reported him for stealing my work. Martinez stopped writing. Your boss? Tony Rodriguez, senior director at TechCorp. And you think a senior director cut your brake lines? Or had someone do it? Do you have proof? Witnesses? Video? The cameras were conveniently down. Martinez closed his notepad. Without evidence, this is just speculation. Could have been random vandalism, happens in parking garages. Random vandals don't cut brake lines. File a report with your insurance. If we find anything, we'll call. He left. He wouldn't find anything. I installed a dash cam that afternoon, front and rear facing, motion activated. Then I drove to the Army surplus store and bought pepper spray, the big canister, bear strength. When I got home, my wife was packing a suitcase. Are you leaving? I'm taking Emma to my mother's for the weekend. She wouldn't look at me. Someone called again today. Said you were having violent episodes at work. Said they were concerned for our safety. You know that's not true. I know someone cut your brake lines. I know Tony has connections everywhere. I know you won't stop until he destroys us or you destroy him. So you're giving up? She finally looked at me. I'm protecting our daughter. You should be too. I am protecting her. From a world where people like Tony always win. No job is worth dying for, Lucas. This isn't about the job anymore. Then what's it about? I thought about Sarah teaching community college, Marcus driving Uber, Jenny making $30,000 at a nonprofit, Rachel Kim who Tony had committed. If I quit now, he wins. And then he does this to someone else. Someone else's daughter grows up watching her father get destroyed for standing up to a thief. Our daughter could grow up without a father at all. You think he'll stop if I quit? I know too much. I'm a threat whether I'm at TechCorp or not. My wife zipped the suitcase. The patent files tomorrow morning. I know. After that, he owns your work forever. I know. So what's your plan? I showed her my phone, messages from Sarah, Marcus, Jenny, David, even Rachel Kim, who Dev had found. We're meeting tonight. All of us. We're going to the board. The board won't care. They will when they find out about the ITAR violations, federal crimes, FBI involvement, stock price crashes. You're gambling everything. Tony already took everything. My work, my reputation, almost my life. I touched the bruise on my chest from the crash. I'm just trying to get some of it back. She picked up the suitcase. I love you, but I can't watch this. I understand. At the door, she turned. Lucas? That pepper spray won't help if they really want to hurt you. I know, but it makes me feel better. Be careful. I will. She left. I sat in my empty house, pepper spray on the table, dash cam footage playing on my laptop, waiting for the others to arrive. Tomorrow morning, Tony would file the patent. Tonight, we would stop him. They started erasing me from existence while I was still in the building. I got back to my desk after the brake line incident to find 3 emails. First one, meeting minutes from March have been updated for accuracy. I opened the attachment. Every mention of my contributions was gone. Tony's name replaced mine 17 times. Second email, please sign the attached ownership verification for Project Titan. The AI framework now had an official name. The signature lines showed Tony Rodriguez as sole inventor. My name wasn't anywhere on the 40-page document. Third email from HR. Action required. Team testimony needed for patent filing. My phone rang. Brian from my team. He was whispering. Lucas, I'm sorry. Tony just made everyone sign affidavits saying he led the entire project. You signed it? He had security there. Said anyone who refused would be terminated immediately. Brian, you know I wrote that code. I have twins starting college next year. I can't lose this job. You saw me work 18-hour days. I saw what Tony told me to see. He hung up. Another call. Melissa from QA. Lucas, I'm so sorry. Tony threatened my green card sponsorship. I had to sign. Then a text from Dev. They suspended me this morning. Caught me preserving backup logs, security escort and everything. I walked to the server room. New locks, electronic. My badge didn't work. Found the IT department. New faces. Nobody I recognized. Where's Dev? Dev Patel no longer works here, a young guy said without looking up. We're implementing new data governance policies. What policies? All backup systems now auto-delete after 72 hours. Director's orders. That's insane. What about disaster recovery? Take it up with management. I went back to my desk. A printed letter was waiting. Legal department letterhead. Mr. Chen, your recent activities constitute harassment of senior management. This serves as formal notice to cease and desist all communication with Mr. Rodriguez and any attempts to access proprietary company information. Failure to comply will result in immediate termination and legal action. My computer dinged. New email from Tony. Subject, tomorrow's a big day. Lucas, by 9 a.m. tomorrow, your little project officially becomes my intellectual property. The patent office opens at 8:30. My lawyers will be first in line. Thank you for your contribution to my legacy. I forwarded everything to my personal email. Error message. External forwarding has been disabled for your account. Try to print. Print services unavailable. USB port. External devices blocked by administrator. They turned my workstation into a prison. My phone buzzed. Text from Sarah. Tony's lawyer just sent me a cease and desist. Says I'm violating my NDA by talking to you. Marcus. Got served an hour ago. They're threatening to sue me for defamation. Jenny. Cops showed up at my work. Said Tony filed a restraining order. They were shutting us down one by one. Another email popped up from someone named Rachel Kim, the woman Dev had told me about. Lucas, I heard you're Tony's new target. I was his victim 2 years ago. He stole my machine learning algorithm, sold it to Tesla, then had me committed for psychiatric evaluation when I complained. I have recordings of him admitting everything, but my lawyer says they're inadmissible because I'm now considered mentally unstable. Once Tony destroys your credibility, evidence doesn't matter. Get out now while you still can. I looked at the clock. 3 p.m. 18 hours until the patent office opened. My phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Chen? This is Patricia Walsh from Channel 7 News. We received an anonymous tip about corporate theft at TechCorp. Would you like to comment? Who gave you my number? I can't reveal sources, but they said you have proof of systematic IP theft. I thought about it. Media attention might be our only chance. Can you meet tonight? Actually, we're running a story tomorrow morning about Tony Rodriguez winning the Innovation Award. We'd love your perspective for Balance, tomorrow morning, after the patent was filed. That'll be too late. Too late for what? The line went dead. I looked at my phone. Call disconnected. Tried calling back. Number blocked. They were monitoring my calls now. I hung up and saw 5 missed calls from Sarah. Lucas, we're all here at your house. Where are you? Still at the office. Someone's monitoring my phone. I couldn't. Just get here. We have maybe 4 hours before Tony files that patent. I ran to my car, checked the brake lines first, started recording on my dash cam. Drove home checking my mirrors every 10 seconds. Sarah's rental car was in my driveway, Marcus's truck, Jenny's Prius. And a car I didn't recognize. Inside, my living room looked like a war room. Laptops everywhere, papers covering my coffee table. Sarah had flown in from Seattle with a banker's box of evidence. Marcus drove 9 hours from Portland with 3 external hard drives. Jenny was playing a recording on her phone. Tony's voice filled the room. Jenny's designs were good, but they needed executive polish. That's what I provided. When did he say this? Company Christmas party. He was drunk. Didn't know I was recording. The stranger stood up. I'm David Kim. You know about my sister Rachel? Tony had her committed. She killed herself 6 months later. His hands were shaking. I have her emails. Her recordings, everything she gathered before they took her. My lawyer friend Jake was typing frantically. With all of you together, this becomes RICO, racketeering, pattern of criminal enterprise, federal charges. Can we stop the patent? If we get to the board first, they can freeze any corporate action. Sarah pulled up Tony's LinkedIn. He just posted, excited to formalize my innovations tomorrow. Big day for TechCorp's IP portfolio. He's gloating, Marcus said. My phone buzzed. Text from Diane, Tony's assistant. He knows about your meeting. Then another. He's going to the board first. Another. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., 2 hours before the regular meeting. Shit. I showed them the texts. He's doing a preemptive strike. Why is his assistant helping you? Jenny asked. New text from Diane. He's done this to 12 people. I've watched for 5 years. I'm done being complicit. Then, I have access to his calendar, his emails, everything. It's a trap, Marcus said. Or it's our only chance, Sarah countered. Jake stood up. If Tony gets to the board first with his version, we're done. They'll never listen to us after he's poisoned them. So what do? We go tonight, now. Emergency session. The board members are home, asleep. Then we wake them up. Jake pulled out his phone. I went to law school with the chief legal officer's daughter. Maybe she can help. David spread out more papers. I have something else. Tony's been claiming these innovations on his taxes. 3 years of fraudulent deductions. That's IRS territory, Jake said. They don't care who your brother-in-law is. Jenny's phone rang. Unknown number. She put it on speaker. Miss Park? This is security at TechCorp. We have a restraining order that says you can't be within 100 feet of Lucas Chen. What? That makes no sense. Mr. Rodriguez filed it this afternoon. Are you currently at Mr. Chen's residence? She hung up. They're tracking us, I said. Sarah's phone rang next, then Marcus's, then David's. All security, all restraining orders, all filed by Tony. He's trying to separate us, Sarah said. Jake was already texting. My friend says her mom can meet us, but only Lucas. The rest of you have restraining orders. That's what he wants. Me alone. No. Jake showed me his phone. She's bringing 2 other board members. They're concerned about legal liability. If even half of this is true, the company's looking at massive lawsuits. I got to TechCorp at 6 a.m. The parking lot was empty, except for Tony's Tesla in the executive spot. The elevator ride to the boardroom felt endless. When the doors opened, I could hear Tony's voice. Concerns about employee mental health affecting our entire department. I walked in. Tony was at the presentation screen with a slideshow, addressing team morale issues. 5 board members sat around the table, CEO taking notes. Lucas, Tony said smoothly. Perfect timing. We were just discussing your situation. My situation? Your mental health crisis, your harassment campaign, your conspiracy theories affecting team productivity. He clicked to the next slide. Statements from Brian and Melissa saying I was unstable and aggressive. 2 managers have confirmed concerning behavior, Tony continued. Paranoid accusations, recording colleagues without consent, coordinating with terminated employees. The CEO looked up. Mr. Chen, these are serious allegations. They're lies. Lucas. Tony's voice was sympathetic. This denial is part of your condition. Dr. Reeves diagnosed you with paranoid personality disorder. She met me for 5 minutes. And that was enough to see you need help. Board member Janet Williams interrupted. Mr. Rodriguez, we received an emergency call about potential IP theft, not mental health issues. Tony's smile flickered. That's exactly my point. Lucas has convinced himself I stole his work. Classic paranoid delusion. Before you decide anything, you need to see this, I said, pulling out my laptop. Tony stood up. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Paranoid behavior. Bringing unauthorized devices into board meetings. The door opened. Dev walked in carrying his laptop. Security should have stopped you, Tony said, his voice cracking slightly. You're suspended. Actually, I'm not. Dev plugged his laptop into the boardroom screen. HR reversed it yesterday when they found out you accessed my computer remotely to plant evidence. The screen lit up. Tony Rodriguez Consulting, LLC. His professional website. What is this? CEO asked. Tony's side business, I said, where he sells our code. The website showed client testimonials. Goldman Sachs praising Tony's revolutionary authentication framework. Microsoft implementing Rodriguez's testing automation. Adobe using Tony's innovative design system. Those are collaborative team projects, Tony said quickly. Really? Dev clicked play on a video. Tony at TechCon 2024. His own voice filled the room. After 18 months of solo development, I created this revolutionary framework entirely myself. No team, no collaboration, just me. Board member Williams leaned forward. You said solo development? That was taken out of context. Dev opened GitHub. Here are the actual commits for that framework. Lucas Chen, 3,847 contributions. Tony Rodriguez, 12 contributions. Those 12 were fixing typos. Git commits can be faked, Tony said, not when they're digitally signed and timestamped. Dev showed the cryptographic signatures. These are legally admissible. Here's more. Tony's access logs, downloading Lucas's code at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., always after hours. The CEO was writing frantically. How much money has Mr. Rodriguez made from this consulting? Dev pulled up bank records. 1.8 million over 3 years. You hacked my bank? You forwarded these to yourself from your corporate email. Our servers kept copies. I heard footsteps in the hallway. The door opened. Sarah walked in. This person has a restraining order, Tony said immediately. Call security. I'm here to file a lawsuit, Sarah said. Tony stole my testing framework and sold it to Microsoft for $75,000. Marcus walked in behind her. My API architecture is being licensed to 3 companies. He makes $10,000 a month from my work. Jenny followed. I have recordings of Tony admitting he took my designs. How many victims are there? Williams asked. 9 that we've documented, I said. Plus Rachel Kim, who killed herself 6 months after Tony had her committed for reporting him. Dev pulled up another document. This is from last week. Tony sold Lucas's AI framework to Shenzhen Digital Systems, a Chinese company, without ITAR authorization. That's a federal crime, Williams said. 20 years in prison, I added. The boardroom went silent, every board member staring at Tony. The CEO slowly closed his notebook. Tony, we need to discuss this privately. Tony's face had gone from confident to pale. This is a conspiracy. They're all lying. We'll determine that. The CEO stood up. Everyone else, please wait outside. We stood in the hallway for 10 minutes before the boardroom door flew open. Tony emerged first, face red, veins visible on his neck. He looked straight at me. You just destroyed your career. Before I could respond, he shoved me, hard. My back hit the wall. 20 employees in the hallway stopped what they were doing. Phones came out immediately. Tony! Someone gasped. He grabbed my shirt collar. Do you understand what you've done? 15 years of my work. Your work. I pushed his hands off me. You mean my code? Sarah's frameworks? Marcus's architecture? Security arrived. 2 guards Tony had probably summoned dozens of times to remove other people. The head of security, Mike, stepped between us. Mr. Rodriguez, you just committed assault. Please step back. Tony turned on Mike. I'm a senior director. Remove this man from the building. Sir, I saw you push Mr. Chen. So did 20 witnesses. And Mike pointed at 3 employees holding up phones. It's on video. Monica from HR came running down the hallway, heels clicking frantically. She took in the scene. Tony's red face, my rumpled shirt, the crowd of employees, the recording phones. Tony, you need to leave the building while we investigate. Leave? Tony's voice went up an octave. I've been here 15 years. This is my company. It's not your company, Monica said quietly. And after what we just learned in that boardroom, you're lucky we're only asking you to leave. You can't do this, my brother-in-law. Your brother-in-law doesn't run Tech Corp. The CEO appeared in the boardroom doorway. His face was stone. Tony, go home. That's not a request. David, come on. We've known each other for a decade. Our kids go to the same school, which makes what you did even worse. The CEO turned to security. Please escort Mr. Rodriguez to his office. He has 5 minutes to collect personal items. Nothing else. This is insane. Tony looked around the hallway at all the employees watching. You're all witnesses to this wrongful termination. I'll sue every one of you. Tony. The CEO's voice was ice. The FBI will be here within the hour to discuss your sale of classified technology to China. I suggest you spend less time threatening people and more time calling your lawyer. Tony's face went from red to white. The FBI. ITAR violations are federal crimes. 20 years minimum. That wasn't. 5 minutes to clear your desk, the CEO repeated. Mike, go with him. Mike stepped forward. Mr. Rodriguez, please come with me. Tony looked at me one more time. You think you won? You have no idea who you're messing with. My connections. Your connections can't help you now, Sarah said from behind me. We have everything, every theft, every sale, every crime. I made you people. Without me, you're nothing. Without you, Marcus said, we're finally free. Mike touched Tony's elbow. Sir, we need to go. Tony jerked away. Don't touch me. I know the way to my own office. He started walking, then turned back. My patent files in 2 hours. After that, the framework is legally mine forever. Actually, Dev said, holding up his phone, I just got confirmation from the patent office. Your filing was rejected. Seems someone reported fraudulent ownership claims last night. Who? Your assistant, Diane. She's been documenting everything for 2 years, every lie, every theft. She sent it all to the patent office at midnight. Tony stood there, mouth open. No words came out. Your 5 minutes started 90 seconds ago, the CEO said. Mike gestured down the hallway. Mr. Rodriguez? Tony walked away, security flanking him. Employees stepped back as he passed, some still recording, others just staring. The man who'd terrorized them for years reduced to a perp walked through his own building. The CEO turned to me. Mr. Chen, we'll need all your evidence immediately. We have everything ready. Good. The forensic audit team is already on their way. He looked at the crowd of employees. Everyone back to work. There will be an all-hands meeting at noon to discuss changes. As people dispersed, Jenny touched my arm. Is it really over? I thought about Tony's connections, his brother-in-law, the DA, his golf buddy's law firm. It's just beginning. Within an hour, everything changed. The forensic audit team arrived in 3 black SUVs, not regular accountants. These were corporate investigators from Ernst & Young's fraud division. They set up in conference room A with boxes of equipment. By 10 a.m., Tony's accounts were frozen. All of them. Corporate, personal, even his kids' college funds. The CEO sent an email to all staff. Mr. Rodriguez's system access has been terminated pending investigation. They interviewed me first, then Sarah, then Marcus, then employees I'd never even heard were victims. I was terrified of him, Brian admitted to the investigators. He made me sign that statement saying he led the project. Said he'd destroy my career if I didn't. Melissa from QA broke down crying. He threatened my green card. My whole family's here on my visa. The investigator taking notes looked up. How many people did he threaten? Everyone who worked under him, Brian said. We had a WhatsApp group just to warn each other about his moods. By noon, the investigators had found Tony's offshore accounts. Cayman Islands, Switzerland, Singapore. $450,000 in stolen code sales, the lead investigator told the CEO in the hallway. I heard him through the door. Just from 5 employees we've confirmed. There might be more. How many more? Your IT admin found traces of at least 12 victims over 7 years. The CEO called an emergency board meeting for the next morning. Not the regular quarterly meeting, the kind where executives get fired and companies get restructured. My phone rang. Jake, my lawyer friend. Lucas, they're taking this seriously. E&Y doesn't get called unless someone's going to prison. What about his connections? His brother-in-law? The FBI doesn't care who your brother-in-law is when you sell classified tech to China. That's espionage adjacent. I was walking to my car when I noticed something under my windshield wiper. Not a parking ticket. A piece of paper with typed words. Today you won. But this isn't over. No signature. I looked around the parking garage. Empty. But the cameras were working now. I walked straight to security and handed them the note. Mike looked at it and frowned. We'll pull the footage. But Lucas, maybe stay somewhere else tonight. You think it's Tony? I think Tony has friends. And those friends just lost a lot of money today. I called my wife from the car. It's done. Tony's suspended. Under investigation. Thank God. When will you be home? I need to stop somewhere first. I drove to Dev's apartment. He answered the door with a laptop in his hand. I'm tracking everything, he said. Tony tried to access the system remotely 6 times in the last hour. Each attempt logged and reported. He's desperate. He's more than that. Dev showed me his screen. Someone just tried to hire a data recovery service to break into our servers. The IP address traces back to Tony's house. That's evidence of ongoing criminal activity. Already forwarded to the FBI. Dev looked at me. Lucas, be careful. Tony had 15 years to build his network. Some of those people won't go down quietly. My phone buzzed. Text from Sarah. Just got a call from someone claiming to be a headhunter. Asked lots of questions about you. Felt wrong. Then Marcus. Strange car outside my house for 2 hours. Then Jenny. Someone called my new job asking about my mental stability. The pattern was clear. Tony was mobilizing his network. Another text, this one from Diane, Tony's assistant. He's in his home office destroying documents. Just saw smoke from his chimney. It's 80 degrees outside. I forwarded everything to the FBI agent who'd contacted me. His response was immediate. Do not engage. We're moving tonight. The war wasn't over, but for the first time in 18 months, I wasn't fighting alone. The boardroom was packed at 8 a.m. Tony sat at the far end with his lawyer. No handcuffs, no FBI, just a man who thought he still had cards to play. The lead investigator from Ernst & Young opened a folder 3 inches thick. Mr. Rodriguez systematically stole intellectual property from 12 employees over 5 years. Total theft value, $1.87 million. Tony's lawyer jumped in. Mentoring junior staff isn't theft. This is. The investigator pulled out server logs. Mr. Rodriguez accessed employee computers at 2 a.m., downloaded their code, filed patents in his name, sold it through his consulting LLC. He spread bank statements across the table. Offshore accounts, Cayman Islands, Singapore, receiving payments from companies who thought they were buying Mr. Rodriguez's innovations. Team efforts, Tony said. The investigator hit play on his laptop. Tony's voice filled the room. I developed this entirely alone. My team doesn't even understand how it works. Board member Williams looked at Tony. Anything to say? Tony stood up, stared straight at me. You were nothing before me. I was an engineer. A mediocre one. I gave you opportunities. You gave me 18-hour days so you could steal my work. Your work? Tony laughed. Typing code doesn't make you special. Any monkey can code. It takes executive vision to create value. My vision. Your vision was theft. I stood up too. I'm not worthless. Sarah's not worthless. Marcus, Jenny, Rachel Kim, who killed herself because of you. None of us were worthless. Rachel was unstable. You had her committed for reporting you. She was delusional. She had proof. Just like we do. The CEO cut us off. Enough. Mr. Rodriguez, the board has voted. You're terminated immediately for cause. You can't. No severance, no benefits, no reference. Company accounts frozen pending criminal investigation. Tony's lawyer stood. We'll sue for wrongful termination. Try it, Williams said. We'll countersue for fraud, theft, and ITAR violations. Selling classified technology to China means 20 years federal prison. Security entered, Mike and another guard. Time to go, Mike said. I've been here 15 years. Stealing for 5 of them, the CEO said. Tony's assistant Diane walked in carrying a box, dumped it on the table, hundreds of printed pages, each marked with different names: Sarah Mitchell, Marcus Washington, Jenny Park, Lucas Chen. Found these hidden in his office, Diane said. My trophies, Tony said quietly. Evidence, the investigator corrected. Tony turned to me as security approached. You'll never work in tech again, I'll make sure of it. Maybe not, but neither will you. My connections. Your connections can't protect you from federal charges. Mike took Tony's arm. Let's go. They walked him past the cubicles. Employees had gathered to watch. Some recorded on phones. Most just stared. The man who'd terrorized them for years being escorted out like a common criminal. I watched through the boardroom window as the FBI took Tony away in handcuffs. 2 weeks later, HR called me into a meeting. Monica was there with someone from legal and the CFO. We've calculated the compensation package, Monica said, sliding a paper across the table. $50,000. I stared at the number. Tony made $1.8 million from our work. That's a criminal matter now. This is what TechCorp can offer. He stole $400,000 just from my code. We don't have proof of specific damages to individual employees. You have the invoices, the contracts. Dev showed you everything. The CFO leaned forward. Mr. Chen, $50,000 is generous considering we could argue you were doing work for hire. Work for hire that Tony sold personally? Take the offer, the lawyer said. Or spend 5 years in court fighting us. I looked at the paper again. $50,000. My credit card debt from those 18 months was $7,000. Medical bills another $3,000. Therapy would probably cost more. What about the promotion? Senior Director of Innovation? Monica shifted in her chair. Actually, we're restructuring. That position is being eliminated. You offered it to me 2 weeks ago. The board reconsidered. We're creating a new role instead. IP Protection Specialist. That's a lateral move. Same salary, better hours, important work protecting future innovations. I understood. They wanted me quiet and grateful, not powerful. What about the others? Sarah Mitchell will receive $30,000, Marcus Washington $20,000, Jenny Park $15,000. Jenny's designs made Tony $25,000 just from one conference. That's our offer. I signed the paper. What choice did I have? Lawyers cost more than $50,000. That night, I checked LinkedIn. Tony Rodriguez, independent innovation consultant, already had recommendations from 3 executives who'd attended his presentations. His profile said he was taking a sabbatical to focus on next-generation ventures, not facing federal charges, not stole from 12 employees, just sabbatical. I drove past his house that weekend. The Tesla was still in the driveway. The lawn was still manicured. His kids were playing basketball in the yard. My phone rang. Jake, my lawyer friend. The prosecutor called me. They're struggling with the case. He sold classified tech to China. Proving intent is hard. His lawyer's arguing he didn't know it was classified. That's bullshit. I know, but Tony's brother-in-law knows people. The prosecutor's getting pressure to plea bargain. To what? Probation. Maybe house arrest. He destroyed lives. White-collar crime, Lucas. Different rules. Sarah called me the next day. Did you see Tony's new company announcement? I pulled it up. Rodriguez Innovation Partners. Leveraging 15 years of enterprise experience to deliver cutting-edge solutions. 3 investors listed. $50 million in seed funding. How is this possible? His story is that he was a victim of corporate politics, forced out by jealous subordinates. People believe that? People with money believe what they want to believe. Marcus texted our group. Just got a cease and desist from Tony's lawyer. Can't discuss him publicly or I violate my NDA. Jenny. Same. They're threatening to take back our settlements. The company did implement new IP protection protocols. Every commit logged, every file tracked, every idea documented. But Tony wasn't there to follow them. A month later, the news broke. Tony Rodriguez pleaded guilty to misdemeanor corporate misconduct. Sentence, 2 years probation, $100,000 fine. His lawyer gave a statement. Mr. Rodriguez was caught up in a culture of innovation where attribution wasn't always clear. He's paid his debt and looks forward to his next chapter. The same day, TechCorp's press release credited me and the others with our innovations. Buried on page 3 of the Tech News, Tony's startup announcement made the front page. Dev stopped by my new office, a windowless room next to the server closet. At least you still have a job, he said. Is that winning? Against someone like Tony? Surviving is winning. I looked at my desk. Pictures of my daughter, printed screenshots of my Git commits. Proof I existed. Proof I created something. Tony took 18 months of my life, my credit, my health, almost my marriage, but he didn't take my name off the code. In Silicon Valley, maybe that's what victory looks like. $50,000 and your name on your work. The $50,000 couldn't fix my marriage. We sat in Dr. Martinez's office 3 weeks after Tony's arrest. My wife on one end of the couch, me on the other, an ocean of beige leather between us. Lucas hasn't slept through the night since the brake lines, my wife told the therapist. He checks them every morning, sometimes twice. They were cut. You saw the mechanic's report. I'm not saying they weren't. I'm saying you're still checking them every day. It's been 2 months. Dr. Martinez wrote something down. Lucas, do you feel unsafe? I feel aware. He records every conversation, my wife continued. Every meeting. Every phone call. He has 17 backup drives hidden around the house. Documentation saved my job. Your job is saved, Tony's gone. But you're still fighting him. She was right. I still parked in different spots every day, still carried pepper spray, still felt my chest tighten when I saw a Tesla in my rearview mirror. The other day, Emma asked why Daddy always looks angry. That hit different. Our daughter was 7, old enough to notice, too young to understand. I'm protecting us. From what? Tony's under house arrest. He can't come near you. His friends can. His connections. Dr. Martinez leaned forward. Lucas, what would it take for you to feel safe? I thought about it, really thought about it. I don't know. The legal bills came the next week. $15,000. Jake had given me the friend discount. Full price would have been $40,000, so my $50,000 settlement became $35,000. After taxes, $24,000. After credit card debt from those 18 months, $17,000. After medical bills from stress-induced gastritis, $13,000. $13,000 for 18 months of my life. At work, I was the whistleblower. Some people respected it, most avoided me. You're that guy who got Tony arrested, someone said in the cafeteria. Tony got Tony arrested. Still, you made waves. Making waves was career suicide in corporate America. I learned that when they passed me over for 3 innovation projects in 2 months. We think you'd be better suited for maintenance work, my new manager said. Less controversial. I created the AI framework that's now worth $50 million. And look how that turned out. Brian wouldn't eat lunch with me anymore. Melissa changed desks. Even Dev kept his distance at work. Nothing personal, he said. But I can't afford to be seen as a troublemaker. You helped expose him. Quietly. You did it loudly. There's a difference. The panic attack started in month 3. Always in parking garages, heart racing, hands shaking, convinced someone was under my car. Post-traumatic stress, Dr. Martinez said. Your body's still in survival mode. How long until it stops? Depends. Are you willing to stop checking your brake lines? I wasn't. My wife found me in the garage at 3 a.m., flashlight in hand, looking under the car. Lucas, this has to stop. I'm just checking. You check every day. Multiple times. Emma saw you yesterday and asked if our car was broken. I'm keeping us safe. You're scaring us. She started sleeping in the guest room after that. Said my tossing and turning kept her awake. But I knew it was more than that. Was it worth it? She asked one night over dinner. Emma was at her grandmother's. Just us and cold pasta. Ask me in a year. I'm asking now. I thought about Tony's new company, his house in the hills, his kids in private school, his life continuing while mine imploded. He stole 18 months from me. And you gave him another 6 fighting back. Now you're giving him more by not letting go. I can't just let go. Then he's still winning. She was right. Even gone, Tony was still in my head. Every morning checking brake lines, every conversation recorded, every colleague who avoided me was another victory for him. I don't know how to stop, I admitted. Therapy helps. I'm in therapy. Individual therapy, not just couples. You need to process this trauma. Trauma. That's what it was. Not victory, not justice. Trauma. $13,000 in trauma. That's what fighting back got me. 6 months later, they moved me to Building D across campus. My new office had a window. A promotion without the title. They gave me a monthly workshop to run, protecting your intellectual property. 12 employees showed up to the first one. Word spread. Document everything, I told them. Every commit, every email, every idea you mention in a meeting. A junior developer raised his hand. Isn't that paranoid? I thought so too. Then my boss stole 18 months of my work. After the workshop, she stayed behind. My manager's been asking for my code, says he needs to review it. At 2 a.m.? How did you know? They always do it at 2 a.m. Start backing everything up, tonight. Sarah messaged me from Google. Got the job because of my testing framework, the real one, with my name on it. Thank you for fighting. Marcus sent a photo from Portland, his new company logo. No corporate bullshit, just me and 2 developers. We all own our code. Dev got promoted to senior IT security. He implemented new protocols, automatic backups, audit trails, manager access logs. Can't stop all the Tonys, he said. But we can make it harder. My framework won an industry award. Lucas Chen's revolutionary AI authentication system. My name. Finally. The week after the award, I saw Tony's LinkedIn post, speaking at Startup Con Vegas. Innovation through executive vision. Same slides, different city. That night, I got a LinkedIn message. Hi, Lucas. I'm a developer at Rodriguez Innovation Partners. I think my boss is stealing my code. He asks me to send everything to his personal email. Works late on his projects. Sound familiar? I stared at the message for an hour. Then I typed, document everything. Starting now. Screenshots, emails, commits, everything. What if he finds out? He will. Be ready. I can't afford to lose this job. You can't afford to lose your work either. They messaged me for weeks. Questions about documentation, evidence, protection. I answered them all. He filed a patent application with my algorithm. Get a lawyer. Now. I can't afford one. I gave them Jake's number. Tell him I sent you. 3 months later, Tony's new company imploded. Federal investigation for IP theft, again. This time, 3 developers came forward together. You warned them, my wife said. Someone had to. She'd moved back into our bedroom by then. I'd stopped checking the brake lines, mostly. Are you teaching Emma to code? She asked one Saturday. Emma was at the kitchen table with my laptop, 7 years old, writing her first Python script. Show Mom what you learned. Emma typed carefully. See? Every time I save, it makes a special mark with the time. That's called a timestamp, I said. Why do we always add timestamps? So everyone knows it's mine. That's right. Your code, your ideas, your proof. My wife watched us. You're teaching her to be paranoid. I'm teaching her to be prepared. Emma looked up. Daddy, why did your boss steal your work? How do you explain corporate theft to a 7-year-old? Some people think it's easier to take than to create. That's not fair. No, it's not. So we keep proof? Always keep proof. She went back to coding. I helped her add comments to each function. Her name, the date, purpose. Is this too much? My wife whispered. I thought about Tony at Startup Con, still presenting my framework, still calling it his innovation. Probation didn't stop him. Criminal record didn't stop him. He just moved to different cities, different victims. It's not enough. That night, I checked my LinkedIn. Another message. Different developer, different city, same story. My boss took credit for my project. What do? I copied my response from last time. Document everything, starting now. Then I added something new. Find others. You're never the only one. My phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Stop interfering with my business. -T I screenshot it. Added it to my Tony folder. 3 gigabytes now. Then I texted back. Document everything. Always. No response. I looked at Emma's code on the screen, her name on every function, timestamps on every save. Maybe I was teaching her paranoia, or maybe I was teaching her what I wished someone had taught me. In corporate America, your code is only yours if you can prove it. Always keep proof. Always. A year later, I still check my brake lines. Not every morning anymore. Maybe 3 times a week. My therapist calls it progress. I call it managing. I won, I guess. Tony's gone from Tech Corp. My name's on the AI framework. I got $50,000 that became $13,000 after everything. Some people would call that justice. But I'm different now. I document everything. Every email, every meeting, every casual conversation by the coffee machine. 3 external hard drives, 2 cloud backups, 1 safety deposit box. My wife says I'm paranoid. She's right. I learned something about corporate America that 18 months of overtime never taught me. Innovation isn't enough. Hard work isn't enough. Being right isn't enough. You need evidence, screenshots, recordings, timestamps, Git commits with digital signatures. You need allies, not friends. Allies. People whose interests align with yours long enough to fight together. You need to be willing to fight dirty, to record conversations, to save emails that were supposed to be deleted, to document things that shouldn't need documenting because you work with people who are supposed to be professionals. Tony taught me that. In a way, it's the only thing he actually taught me. Not coding, not innovation, but how to survive in a system where your boss can steal 18 months of your life and buy a vacation home with it. He's still out there. Different city, different company, same game. Rodriguez Innovation Partners failed, but Tony Consulting LLC just launched. New victims, new code to steal, new lives to destroy. Sometimes developers message me. My boss is taking credit for my work. I tell them all the same thing. Document everything. Find others. Don't fight alone. I check my brake lines because one time they were cut. That's not paranoia. That's pattern recognition. My daughter knows how to timestamp her code. She's 7. Some people think that's sad. I think it's necessary. Victory in corporate America doesn't feel like victory. There's no moment where the music swells and the hero stands triumphant. There's just paperwork, NDAs, settlement offers that are fractions of what was stolen. Press releases buried on page 3. Tony lost his job but kept his house. Lost his reputation at one company but started another. Paid a $100,000 fine with the $1.8 million he stole. I kept my job but lost my trajectory. Kept my marriage but gained a prescription for anxiety medication. Kept my name on my code but lost the part of me that used to trust people. The other day, my daughter asked why I always save everything 3 times. In case someone tries to delete it, I told her. Who would do that? People who want to pretend your work is theirs. She thought about it. Then she saved her homework in 4 places. That's victory in corporate America. Teaching your 7-year-old that her work isn't safe, that people she trusts might steal from her. That documentation is survival. I still check my brake lines, not because I think they'll be cut again, but because I know they can be. That's not paranoia. That's what Tony taught me. That's what winning looks like. It looks like survival.